Human health and disease. The war within. Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But honestly, it's exactly what's happening inside you, right now. Today, we're going to dive into this incredible, invisible battle that's raging inside every single one of us, every single day.
So let me just ask you a question. Are you ever really alone? I mean, think about it. Even when there's nobody else in the room, are you alone? Well, the answer might just change how you see yourself.
The reality is, you're not alone for even a second. Your body isn't some clean, sterile fortress. It's more like a bustling, totally chaotic planet. You could even call it a battlefield. You're hosting an entire universe of microscopic life forms, and believe me, there's a constant war for control being waged right under your skin.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this war, we need to understand what we're fighting for. We got to get some of the basics down. So what do we actually mean when we talk about health? And what exactly is this invisible threat we call disease?
Right, so health. For the longest time, people just thought it meant, well, not being sick. Simple as that. But we've come a long way. The definition today is so much bigger. It's a state of complete well-being. That's physical, mental, and social. It's not just about surviving, it's about thriving.
And on the flip side, you've got disease. That's what happens when the battle starts to turn against us. It's basically when something messes with the normal function of our organs or body systems. And all those signs and symptoms we feel, that's just our body's alarm system telling us we're under attack.
So who are these invaders? Who's trying to throw everything off balance? Well, it is time to meet the bad guys of our story. Let's take a look at this rogues gallery of microscopic troublemakers.
The official name for these little guys is pathogens, and their mission is pretty simple. Get inside our bodies, multiply like crazy, and just wreak havoc on our normal, healthy functions.
And wow, do they come in a lot of different forms. I mean, just look at this. You've got bacteria, think salmonella, which causes typhoid fever, usually from contaminated food or water. Then there are viruses, like the one that gives you the common cold, just floating around in tiny droplets you breathe in. You've got protozoa, like the one that causes malaria by hitching a ride on mosquitoes. And you even have fungi, which can cause things like ringworm and love to hang out in skin folds.
Now, this is a pretty wild and frankly chilling story from medical history. Ever hear of Typhoid Mary? Her real name was Mary Mallon. She was a cook way back in the early 1900s, and here's the crazy part. She was a carrier for typhoid, but she felt perfectly fine. She had no symptoms at all. But for years, she unknowingly spread the disease to tons of people through the food she made. It's a powerful reminder that these invisible enemies can be passed on by people who look and feel totally healthy. Okay, that sounds scary, I know. But here's the good news. We are not defenseless, not by a long shot. Our bodies have this incredibly sophisticated defense force. Seriously, it's amazing. So let's meet the heroes of this story, our immune army.
So you can think of our immune army as having two main divisions. First up, you've got innate immunity. These are your first responders, the frontline troops. They're non-specific, they show up fast, and they just attack anything that looks like an invader. Then you have acquired immunity. This is your special ops team, the intelligence unit. They take a little longer to get going, but they're pathogen-specific. They learn the enemy, develop custom weapons, and they never ever forget a face.
Let's dig into those first responders a bit more. The innate system has these 4 amazing layers of defense. First, you've got your physical barriers. Literally, your skin and mucus just blocking stuff from getting in. If something gets past that, step 2 is physiological barriers. Think stomach acid or saliva, which just destroy microbes. Okay, but if they get past that, you have step 3, the cellular barriers. These are your white blood cells, which literally hunt down and eat the invaders. And finally, the 4th layer is what we call cytokine barriers. Virus-infected cells will actually send out a warning signal to tell neighboring cells, hey, danger, protect yourselves. It's an incredible system.
But the real game changer, the superpower of the acquired immune system, is its secret weapon, memory. See, the first time it fights a new bad guy, it's a tough battle. It takes time. But it never, ever forgets an enemy. The next time that same pathogen dares to show up, the immune system launches a response so fast and so powerful, the invader is usually wiped out before you even feel a single symptom.
And what's the main weapon our intelligence unit uses? It's this guy right here, the antibody. You can think of it like a perfectly designed heat-seeking missile. Each one is custom-built to lock onto one and only one specific pathogen. It tags them for destruction. It's an amazing arsenal, and your body can create a unique antibody for pretty much any enemy it will ever encounter. So,
Here's the thing. This incredible immune army doesn't have to fight all on its own. We can actually help it. We can train our inner defenses to be stronger and smarter. So, how do we do that? Let's get into it.
You know, a lot of this is actually pretty straightforward, but super effective stuff. It starts with personal hygiene. We're talking simple things like keeping clean and making sure your food and water are clean. Then there's public hygiene, which is all about protecting the whole community. You also have vector control. That's things like getting rid of standing water where mosquitoes breed, cutting off their highway into our bodies. And finally, just plain old awareness. Knowing how these things spread is half the battle.
And this all leads us to one of the absolute greatest achievements in all of medicine: vaccination. It's basically a brilliant hack of our own immune system. A vaccine introduces a safe, weakened piece of a pathogen, just enough to get our immune system's attention without making us sick. This trains the system. It builds up those all-important antibodies and memory cells. That way, if the real pathogen ever shows up, our army is already trained, armed, and ready to go. Now, as amazing and powerful as our immune system is, it's also incredibly complex. It's a finely tuned machine, and, well, sometimes things can go wrong. The system can make mistakes, and that leads to a whole different set of problems.
So, what kind of mistakes are we talking about? Well, sometimes it just overreacts. That's what an allergy is. Your immune system going into full-on battle mode against something totally harmless, like pollen. Then there are times it gets confused. This is autoimmunity. The system loses the ability to tell friend from foe, and it actually starts attacking your body's own healthy cells. That's what's happening in diseases like rheumatoid arthritis. And finally, sometimes the immune system itself comes under direct attack. This is what happens in AIDS, where the HIV virus specifically targets and destroys our immune cells, basically taking out our body's entire defense force.
So, where does that leave us? We have this unbelievably complex, powerful system working 24/7 to protect us. It's our silent guardian in this constant war within. But it's all a delicate balance. And it really brings up a critical question, doesn't it? Our immune system is our ultimate protector. But what happens when the protector itself is the one that needs protecting? That's something to think about.